There's been a huge scandal on Le Mans Ultimate this week, and the community are not happy. A group of sim racers got caught cheating in an online esport event with a $35,000 prize pool. Yikes. My DMs have been exploding with people asking for my thoughts on this and to make a video, so I decided to take it one step further. I'm gonna enter the Logitech G challenge myself, try and beat the cheater's time to claim that chunk of the prize pool, which I'll then give away to one of you guys. Can I do it? Let's find out. But before we begin, let's catch up with exactly what's been going on. The Logitech G Challenge is an esport event that has taken part on many different racing titles, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Forza, and this year it's on Le Mans Ultimate. It has a pretty epic prize pool, which means it's always a very popular event. However, the way it's run this year is, well, really scuffed. Qualifiers are available in-game in the 20-minute bronze daily races, and you can attempt them as many times as you want. Each round, the top two move on to the grand finals and also win these prizes. Now that's worth a fair chunk of money. Sounds great, right? Well, let me ask you something. What do you think would be the best way to determine the top two from each round? Best qualifying lap? Nope. Maybe best win from the highest strength of field? Nah. It is done by the best in-game race lap. Yeah. Now this has been terrible because it has meant that every single round up until now, the top two on the leaderboard are always just esporters that have treated the 20-minute race as a glorified hot lap session. They will start at the back, put on fresh tires, and only have about 3 or 4 laps of fuel. They'll try their best to get a lap, and whether they succeed or not, they'll just retire from the race. Doesn't matter the result. But what does matter is obviously the lap time. And it sucks because if you're just taking part in these races normally and have the fuel load required to finish the 20-minute race, you will never, ever be able to achieve the lap times that they have done. But all hope is not lost. These last 2 weeks, it has been held at the track Le Mans, and thankfully around there's basically no tyre wear. So this means you can actually complete the race and be able to set a competitive lap towards the end as well. Amazing. However, if you've seen some of my previous videos, which actually include one of the drivers in question here, you'll know that this track is very problematic for another reason. Those huge straights and this silly format opens the door for another controversy. Just Drive Dave released a video a couple days ago exposing a group of top drivers, one being a content creator, cheating to try and get one of their mates to win some prizes in the Logitech G Challenge. I highly suggest you go and watch his video if you want to see the full context and also updates. It takes big cojones to be able to call out this stuff like he did, so fair play. But if you don't have time to watch that video, just so we're all on the same page, bump drafting, intentional slipstream, and cutting corners is 100% against the rules of this competition, which is exactly what these drivers were caught doing red-handed. Basically boosting their lap times significantly. And I guess they thought no one would know because I guess it's just going off the leaderboard time, right? Now, for those of you who want to know what I think of this, obviously it sucks. I have been no stranger to calling out BS in the past when it comes to cheating, and it's obvious that this is also the case. I don't think it's as bad as someone who has like grip hacks or something modded into the sim, and also to give the benefit of the doubt, maybe they were just having a laugh in Discord and didn't realize the severity of what they were doing. Also, maybe I'm just being a bit too nice here. LMU and Logitech also deserve some rightful criticism here, in my opinion. I mean, come on, like, what a silly format. I mean, let's be real here. It was bound to happen eventually. Anyway, this made me think of the bigger picture. If it's that easy to choose a good lap here, then what if someone else also does it? Maybe someone already has. So I decided to give the Logitech G Challenge a crack myself. And I gave myself 2 goals. 1, beat the lap time that was set by the cheater. 2, try and get top 2 overall so a cheater can't claim the prize. Then I can give away the prize to one of you lucky viewers. The stage this evening was set. It was 9 p.m. on the last day of this round, so I had to really get stuck in and learn fast. Here we go. So the first thing I do when I join this lobby is, of course, ask if there are any bump drafters. Unfortunately, no one responded, so yeah, I guess everyone had seen that video. No one wanted to be caught in another scandal with UKOG. So let's get into this car, this track. I have never driven this car around this track, so this was a big learning curve. Thankfully, it is a fixed setup, and also the TC, ABS, and all the settings I got from another very fast streamer, so that helped a lot. Anyway, breaking into turn 1, you want to keep it tight onto these curbs, but don't go too far over because the suspension is very bouncy, I noticed. Then down here, you want to brake as soon as you finish that right-hand turn, stay tight, and then also tight again on this exit, and don't wash out too wide because it's very easy to go on that grass. And then you want to launch it into this right-hander before the mall's on straight, and you can actually get away with like a lot of track limits with this car. I'm not sure why. Then you've got this massive straight, and then the first chicane here, you brake just before the 100, use all the track, and try and focus on the exits I found in this car. The exits are everything because it really likes to light up the rears. Again here, use all the curves, run it out wide, try not to get track limits though. Another massive straight into this really tight right-hander, hard on the brakes. I was really struggling here as well because I just couldn't get the car stopped. Now I'm running 6 ABS, which is a little bit unorthodox compared to normal, but it works in this car, but it is a little bit sketchy. Then you've got this really hard corner, the hardest corner on the track if you're in a hypercar or an LMP. But I managed to do really well on my first attempt, to be honest. I managed to hit the apex, run it out nice and wide, and then this really tight right-hander really extend the opening, and then extend the exit as well. You know, use all the track, basically. Here I have a bit of a moment.
6 ABS ain't through there.
Yeah, ABS not being my friend there, but you just got to stay committed. Thankfully, this car has quite a lot of downforce and on-throttle rotation. So you'll see in these Porsche curves, I'm on the throttle really early, and it just sticks. Now, this left-hander is massive for time as well. You want to go all over that curb, more than what I just did there. And the same in these chicanes, all over them. But the car is a bit unsettled, so you'll see there, a bit of a bounce. But what is my first lap going to be?
58.0 from my first one. Okay.
However, remember, that was qualifying, so the lap does not count. It is the best race lap, which we're about to enter now. And also, let's remember what our goals exactly are. This is the current leaderboard, and as you can see, if I can beat a 57.5, then I will get into the top 2 and claim a prize. But if you guys remember the lap time from the cheater, they managed to do a 0.38. So if I want to complete both goals, I gotta beat that time. And for reference, let's just put it on the screen right now for the rest of the video. So this first race went exactly as you would expect a Split 1 Le Mans Ultimate race to go. Absolute chaos at turn 1, and it meant that I just had a massive gap straight away to just freely set my own lap times.
Classic. Everyone died. Yes, but me.
But here's where there's even more drama with this track car event combo. If I was to go full pelt every single lap, it would mean that I'd squeeze in an extra lap onto this race, and obviously that means I've then got to have more fuel in the car. So I've actually, if I want to have the best chance at getting the best lap, I have to actively drive slow for the first few laps to make sure it's only a 5-lap race and it doesn't tick over to 6 laps. Who decided that it would be 20 minutes of Le Mans? I don't understand. But none of that would matter anyway, because I also learned in this first race that there is another huge issue here, and that is the track limits. It was so hard to fully send it and not just go over the limits by a few millimeters, and it meant that I didn't get a single competitive valid lap in the whole race. So I immediately signed up for another race and got a bit of practice in with Jenna Ortega. Before I knew it, I was back on the starting grid, ready for attempt number 2 of this challenge. Now this race is completely different to race 1 because the boys around me are really competitive and really feisty. So we head into turn 1, and Saum, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name kinda right, absolutely nails me around the outside, and I have to settle for second. Now, I do try and go for a comeback here, but he's got the inside line, he's washing out, there's no way I could hold it there. So I thought, I'm just going to stick behind him and basically try and slow us down to, again, make sure this is only a 5-lap race. So I'm going to, in a way, because these guys are fast enough to make it 6 laps, I'm going to, in a way, try and slow us all down to make sure it is, like I say, definitely 5 laps. Roy gets a massive run here and just sends it on everyone, which is kind of nuts. Fair play to him. I also wanted to do a bit of fuel saving as well, because what that does is it keeps the tires a little bit fresher. So I thought, yeah, let's not push it too hard either on these first few laps, especially if I'm, you know, going slow on purpose anyway. And that was my strategy. But regardless of that, the racing was really, really fun. And we get another run here around the outside of Roy. I pulled to the left to try and get him away from my side draft. And it does work because we've almost fully pulled ahead here. Saum's coming back to try and send it as well. And we do make this stick. But Roy goes to the inside. And he kind of dummies me and makes me purposely brake a little bit too late there. He's weaving left and right. I get in my mirrors, and I'm just looking too much there. And it means that I overly defend into that right-hander. And now he's got another fantastic run. He's going round the outside here into this fast right-hander starting the Porsche curves. And, mate, he makes it stick. There's a little bit of touching, but that was some lovely racing. Saum as well, trying to get a sniff in, but around there he's just going to lose the grip on the outside, and Roy manages to hold on to the lead. Amazing, amazing first lap from him, but I am noticing he's making a lot of mistakes. As you saw there, he ran wide immediately on the next lap, so I'm just taking my time. I think we're on to lap 3 now, so this is my time to probably go for a move, because our first few laps of all the fighting have been slow enough where I can just send it now, and it'll definitely be 5 laps. So we're going to put him under a bit of pressure here. He manages to run a bit wide on the entry, which sacrifices his exit, because he had to do the corner a bit tighter than normal. This gives me a nice slingshot down this very, very long straight. But I'm going to now get in his side draft, and you'll notice here, he then kind of tries to do the same to me. So that means we're basically slowing each other down, and now Saum is going to be closing in. So we're both hard on the brakes here into this tight right-hander. We leave each other the perfect amount of room. Some beautiful racing. But again, we're still in each other's side draft. So that means Saum behind is going to get a mighty launch here. So it's about to get really interesting. Now, after that great racing, I managed to pull away, but it didn't matter because I got a track limit on the chicane twice in a row, and that was the end of race 2.
Damn. 57.4. Not bad, not bad.
That was the confidence boost I needed, because now I know I can do it. I can get the time. So as we jump into race 3 start here, we're alongside a guy called Lyman, who is also another exceptionally fast driver. So we're going to have to do the same strategy as before. We're going to have to kind of purposely fight to make sure this is a 5-lap race. But, I mean, I can't help it. The guy sends it around the outside, and that is the second time in a row I've been done there. But we do get a really nice cutback, and this time it's a lot better than before. So we're able to get the move fully stuck before we make it to this left-hander. but he isn't done yet. He's going to get a mega run in the slipstream. And as we enter chicane 1, I'm going to do my lift and coast strategy. Just let him have it. But he runs too deep. So that means I get a good exit. He has to let off to not get, I guess, a red track limit warning. And that means that we've pulled out a slipstream now. And that was it. That was all she wrote for our fight, unfortunately. But what it did mean is that I had clear air to absolutely send it on these last few laps. And as we go into literally the final lap of this race, this is going to be, spoilers, my first proper valid lap. So we go over the line here and we're already sticking a little bit to the right to minimize the run into turn 1. And as we hook it through here, I get on the brakes and the car just gets a bit unsettled, and as I come through this right-hander, boing, and a bit of a slide. So immediately, I dropped about a 10th and a half, which wasn't very good. My Sector 1 was a 3.70, and it should be, compared to the other guys, either a low 2 or even a 0.1. So quite a lot of time lost. However, Sector 2 here went pretty nicely, and a 3.14 isn't too shabby, but not perfect. Now, I do have a very nice run here through Indianapolis. Almost forgot the corner name there. And overall, Sector 3 was quite nice. It wasn't, again, perfect, but it was all right. And I guess that's sort of the story of this whole lap. I think everything, it was a good lap. It was a good lap, but, because the lap is so long, a couple tenths in each sector, it just adds up massively. And, this last chicane, though, was really nice. Like, look how I managed to throw it over these curves. It was really good. Maybe a little bit too hesitant into the final chicane on second viewing here. But, yeah, pretty good lap. And that is going to be a 0.6.
6.36. Woo! That was close, man. What a last sector. Woo!
That lap was enough to put us into P4 on the leaderboard, but that is not any of our goals achieved. And the problem was, it was getting really late. It was almost midnight, and I was absolutely knackered. So this was going to be my final attempt.
I think this will be my last attempt tonight, boys, because I'm getting tired. Oh, this will be my last attempt ever, because that's it. No more after this. The competition is over.
Race 4, the final attempt. Let's get it underway, and hopefully we can get that lap time. Green, green, green. Now you'll notice that Lyman is in this race again, so we know we've got some stiff competition as we approach turn 1. He gives me a little bit of a squeeze, but we do manage to hold it around the outside. And can I finally not get mugged off into turn 1? It feels like I am, but I managed to hold it round the outside, and finally, I have managed to maintain my P1 position for the first time since everyone died on lap 1. But it's all in vain, because he gets a really nice run down the straight, obviously. It's a slipstream heaven, and as he's going around the outside here, I've sort of just lifted a bit again, because I want to save the tyres. He has a mega slide going in. What a save from him. Wow. I thought he was completely going around there, but fair play. So let's get back in his slipstream, have a little mini fight with him again, just to slow our time down overall to make sure this is a 5-lap race. So we hold the inside into this tight right-hander at the end of the Mulsanne. He gets a lovely slingshot, so he's going to come back at us. And to be honest, that's kind of what we want, because again, it's going to slow our overall race time down. It's going to be 5 laps, and it's going to mean that I can absolutely send it at the end of this race if I can break away. But that is not what we're going to do right now, because he has got the side draft on me, and he's squeezing me as well. So that is just slowing my car down, bringing him further and further alongside, and he has the overlap into this really challenging section of corners. So I just let him have it, completely let him have it. He does run a bit deep there. I'm even like saving fuel and just, relaxing my tires a bit, cooling them off. But it's only the next lap that we're back on him again. We're in the slipstream, and again, just let him have it. There's no need to push this. I want to just save my tires for those last few laps. But again, another mistake. He runs wide in chicane, and I just slingshot around the outside very cleanly. Tuck back in, but you'll notice in the mirror, they are well, almost too wide there. They're both trying to slipstream me. It seems like C. Young has entered the mix. And around the outside goes Lyman. Another amazing move by him. This guy is on fire with his racecraft. But that meant I could get a slingshot again. Coming into the final corner at the end of the Mulzon. We are side by side, but I have quite the healthy overlap here. So I can just hold my line. He goes a little bit deep, and that means I have now broken away out of the slipstream. But unfortunately for me, the pace is still a little bit too quick. So I've had to, you know, relax coming into this final sector, and they're back on me again. But I know that as soon as I cross the line, I'm going to be able to send it for the last 3 laps. So let's do this, guys. Full send ahead. Can we beat the lap time?
Oh my god, the game froze. Are you f***ing kidding me? Oh my god. You are... This is the worst thing about Le Mans Ultimate. What was that? Wahoo. I'll try and get back in, I guess. The game locked up. I don't believe it. What a load of bollocks, man. I mean, technically, I can still go for a lap. Technically. Oh my god. Hello? I'm in slow motion!
So I use this next lap just to warm up my used race tires again and get them prepared for this final lap attempt. If you're still watching this video and not subscribed, surely this journey's been worth it. It would mean a lot to me. This is it, lads. No more edits, no more commentary. Let me show you what happened.
That time was a 58.01.
Ooh. Oh. No! There goes a full 10th. GG. Oh, no. Oh my god! What was that last chicane? Yes! There we go, boys! There's definitely, I can see that 56, you know what I mean? That one that Tommy got, I can see that now. Jesus. Well, a little bit of an unorthodox way of doing it, but we did it! We did it! Let's go! Why should there be like a bug where that doesn't count for no reason at all? Boom! Look at that. Look at it. Boom.